Hello, my dear students. This is Dr. Banda Upendireddy, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Government Degree College, Agraharam, Rajana Sircilla District, State, Telangana. As a part of curriculum, BS first semester General Chemistry, Unit 4, Chapter 2, 4th hour session. In that, representation of stereoisomers and optical isomers, and discussion about the optical isomers. Now, I am going to enter my topic, representation of stereoisomers. All of you know very well, in the previous classes we have discussed stereoisomers are the molecules which have same molecular formula, same structure, but different in the orientation of the atoms in the space, around the double bond, around the carbon, etc. Now, if the molecular structure is two-dimensional, any that is called two-dimensional means if it is expanded in the x and y axis or any two axis, it can be represented on a paper very easily by writing with the solid bonds or lines. But whenever the case the molecules are of the three-dimensional structure, the three-dimensional structures cannot be represented on a paper plane. But some of the scientists proposed how to represent these stereoisomer structure on the paper, which can be imagined or visualized in the mentally the actual structure. Such are called as notations or projection formulas, which are proposed by the several scientists. According to that, I can go through this one now here. Actually, methane molecule is tetrahedral, but on paper plane we can represent like this, or with 4 sigma bonds, solid lines. But it is wrong because its structure is 2D, but its actual structure is this one, tetrahedral. sp3 hybridization, and these two which are shown with the dashed one, forwarded backside from the viewer, and these are the two hydrogens shown with the such type of bonds I presented, are forwarded towards viewer. Hence, the carbon is on the paper. These are two are from the back side of the paper, these were front side of the paper. It is the carbon on the paper. That is structure given by the formula wedge notation. Hence, to represent such compound, not only wedge, some other scientists also given some proposals. Out of those, the most important are, now one is Fischer projection formula, second one is wedge notation, and third one is Saar's formula, fourth one is Newman formula. We will discuss one by one how they will be represented. First of all, I am going to discuss with the Fischer projection formula. In case of Fischer projection formula, this projection formula proposed by the Emil Fischer in 1891. It is used to represent the three-dimensional organic molecule in the manner of two-dimensional. Mostly used to represent the carbohydrates. Highlights of this one: the main carbon chain should be vertically. that is the representation or depiction of the main chain carbon skeleton should be vertical, and the most according to IUPAC number we are going to the number to those main chain. One we are getting C1, that means that side functional group will be there or more oxidized carbon will be there, that will be written top. Mostly more oxidized carbon will be to right, will be depicted top, and less oxidized carbon will be depicted in the bottom. The number of carbon can be assigned by the IUPAC system. Then the remaining bonds other than the depicted bonds are horizontally represented. The horizontal one must be forwarded to our side. The vertical terminal vertical bonds are backwarded to from the viewer. The remaining are on the plane of the paper. So it is given by the some few highlights given by the Fischer projection Emil. So one example I am going to give you a look at here. It is 2,3,4 dihydroxy butanoic acid. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4 it is given as number 1, 2, 3, 4 according to IUPAC number. It is more oxidized one, it is less oxidized one out of these two. Then the depiction will be like this. So here we have to write the top, depict the top, is the bottom, one by one vertically we have to show. The remaining bonds of H and OH, H and OH, H and OH can be written horizontally like this. So because of that, due to writing horizontally like this, these are forwarded for us, these are backwarded. This the hydrogen and this COH is backwarded, remaining these are on the plane, these are forwarded. So it is given here like this. That is one of the Fischer projection formula. Now next one, wedge notation. It is very important notation to give the Merkel formula. This notation is better to represent the three-dimensional formula. According to this, the atoms or groups which are represented with the solid lines are present on the paper plane or paper plane. Those atoms groups which are depicted with following dashed line, that is, it can be given like this. It is called dashed line. The dashed line is the whatever the group or atoms are backwarded from us, and whenever those atoms or groups are are forwarded our side, viewer side, when the symbol is given with the dash like this, wedge notation, not dash notation. That means this one. If it is given this with this, the bonds are forwarded for us from the viewer side. If they given with this, these are backwarded. This is the representation given by this. Only three types of representation. One is solid line, dashed line, wedge line. With these three lines, one can represent the structure of the molecule in the space three-dimensionally on the paper. So according to that one, for example, first example I am going to write here and go through the reading of this one, following. Now next, coming to this one, see here it is lactic acid. In the lactic acid, the bond COOH is backwarded, CH3 is backwarded, these H and OH are forwarded. That means it is a tetrahedral structure. Similarly, coming to the this texture. In this case this is backwarded, this is backwarded, this is on the paper plane, these two are front side. Imagine that how the structure will be there. This is back side, this is back side, both are back side forward, and these two are forwarded, this is on the paper. And it is a three-dimensional structure, can be represented by this. Let's go through the slide for 1 minute. Now next, coming to the Saar's projection formula. In this case, in this type of projection formula, the three-dimensional compounds can be depicted as follows. The carbon-carbon bonds depicted inclined position with a tilted angle from the viewer. See here, it is the viewer from this side or this side, and we have to write the bond like this and like this, like this, like this. These are one plane, these are one plane, these are one plane, and the bond angle between these three is 120, 120, 120. 120 bond angle. It is front carbon, it is back carbon, so it can be represented like this. Now here design is sorry. In this case, it has a center of symmetry, it has plane of symmetry, it has plane of symmetry, it has center of symmetry. Because of plane of symmetry and center of symmetry, this is a molecule, both are same molecule. This is ethane, this is ethane, this is ethane, but front side is no change. Front carbon configuration is same, but back side is different. Here back side is forward of upside, here forward downside. That is the difference. Means first one both are same, but second one there is a difference. Hence these two are stereoisomers, because structure is same but orientation of the groups is different. Here orientation is same, but in this orientation is almost opposite, it tilted to here. Hence this is the isomerism, this is the compound. We can show that with a Saar's notation. One more example. Once go through reading this one. The remaining three bonds on each carbon can be depicted with the solid lines or wedge lines or dashed lines with the angle of 120, just before I given. That means first of all you have to take the tilted angle like this, inclined with tilted angle, followed by on the back carbon 3 hydrogens are backwarded from the viewer, these three are forwarded. Here paper plane will come here. And coming to the Newman projection formula. In Newman projection formula, it is very, very important. It is highly useful one. To write the stereoisomers. According to this, in this three-dimensional carbon or organic compound can be viewed from the side where the two atoms are overlapped on the other, like the following diagram. Example, we can say take a G-bar car or a bullock cart, etc. If you from this side, those wheels are arranged like this, like Saar's formula. Or if you go through some cross, they can be arranged like this, or arranged like this from one side. But if you see from one side, if you see from one side, for example like this, only first tire is going to visible, the back side, back tire is invisible, it is overlapped one, and they are existing one on behind other one, but behind one is not visible for us. Such one is called Newman case, Newman observation, Newman projection. So that can be explained like this. Here, see here, in this case it is tilted angle, this one tilted angle, inclined one, these three are back sided, these are front sided. This is called Sarsa formula. It can be viewed from this direction. If we view this from this direction, or if we view from this direction, we are going to get this structure or this structure. This is called Newman. That means here I can write this carbon written like this. This carbon is behind that, if not visible. That means first one, we can show the first one, and back side will not be visible as, and the first one three, and first one these three are forward for us, hence we can write like this. And these three are forwarded, hence we can write like this. Or we can write in other way also, like this. And some like this, because it is overlapped or overlapped, it is called eclipsed one. The previous one is called, it is eclipsed one. This is called eclipsed, it is called staggered. This type of representation is called as Newman projection formulas. Coming to the configurational isomers, already we discussed configuration isomers, geometrical isomers in the previous class. Cystons, EZ isomers, their nomenclature, sequence rules, priority, or CIP rules, etc., and a few examples also. Now, as a part of configuration isomers, second type of isomers are optical isomers. Here, optical isomers means there are two or more compounds which have the same molecular formula and same structure, but they are differ in the spatial orientation in the space, are called stereoisomers. Already, you know. But here, the optical isomers are two types, enantiomers and diastereomers. Now go through the enantiomers. Enantiomers are this classification. Enantiomer and diastereomers are classified based on the superimposability of the mirror image. What is meaning of superimposability? Just listen to me carefully. Superimposability means if you put one chair on the other chair, plastic chair, they will be exactly fitted. It is called imposability, superimposability. Non-superimposability means if you put the one hand on the other hand, the both are not will be similar. For example, like this, if the one hand is like this, right hand like this, but if you put on the left hand, we are going to get like this. Both black or both white are same side we have to put. That is one molecule. Hence here, in such case, what happens? They are not superimposable. Such compounds which are stereoisomers, which are non-superimposable mirror images, are called as enantiomers. I am repeating. Stereoisomers are classified into two types: geometrical isomers and optical isomers. What are the optical isomers? Optical isomers are nothing but they are of the optical activity. Based on the optical activity, the compounds may be optical active or optical inactive. What is optical activity? Optical activity nothing but rotation of the plane of the polarized light when passed through the certain compounds. One isomer is going to rotate its light towards right side, one is going to rotate the left side. then they are called optical isomers. If not so, it is not called as optical isomer. For example, it is a compound. I am writing PPL, PPL, plane polarized light passing through this one, and if it going straightly without any deviation, it is optically inactive. But if it is rotated toward right side, it is dextrorotatory compound. Otherwise, if it is rotating left side, it's called levorotatory. Based on this phenomenon of rotation of plane of the polarized light towards left or right, the compounds are the isomers are differentiated. Those are called as optical active isomers. Here, coming to the enantiomers. Enantiomers are optical active isomers, also called as optical active antipodes. These are the stereoisomers which are superimposable mirror images. These are non-superimposable mirror images. That means here this molecule, if it is lifted and placed on this, they will not be imposed, because this is same, but this OH is to our right side, but this OH left side. If we put on this, we are going to get the H here. We are going to get the H here and OH here, and these are overlapped. Because of this, with non-superimposability. What is the meaning of non-superimposability? I am repeating. This molecule is removed and placed on this. Both are tetrahedral, three-dimensional. These two are overlapped, superimposed, but these two are not superimposed, because in the place of OH we are going to get the H, this one. That means again I can say here we are going to H, here going to get the OH, remaining will be same. Hence it is non-superimposable. It is represented by the wedge formula. And because of this difference in the here, OH is right side, OH is left side, it is right side, it is left side, it is right side. This is the difference. Because of this difference, they are isomers. The remaining, the structure and properties are always same. And second example, I am go through this one. I am go through the second example. Here, these two are back-sided, these two are front-sided with wedge formula. These are forwarded for us, backward from us, and it is the mirror image of this one is second one. Here, see here. This is two are backwarded, these two are forwarded. And coming to the one more example, here configurational isomers. This is the most important slide, is just one. These are the examples. See here in this example, it is tartaric acid example. Three isomers with this formula. With tartaric acid, there are three isomers. Isomer 1 is 1, 2, 3. Here COOH are back-sided. These are on the paper, and OH front side and same side. OH are opposite side and front side. Here OH are opposite side, front side, but these and these are mirror images. And iodines are front side, opposite. Iodines are front side, opposite. These and these are mirror images. Hence these two are enantiomers, non-superimposable. This is different from this. This and these are also stereoisomers. In this case, these are same side, these are opposite side. These two are not mirror images. These are the not mirror images, but these are this above half watt. This half watt is sorry. this half part is not a mirror image, but this half part is, sorry, this half part is mirror image. Overall, not mirror images. And such stereoisomers, those are the stereoisomers, but not superimposable, not mirror images, are called as diastereomers. Enantiomers are nothing but they are superimposable mirror images. Diastereomers means they are not superimposable, not mirror images. So here, what are the enantiomers? Enantiomers differ in or similar in. First, similar in physical properties, boiling point, melting point, etc. Same structure and same chemical properties, and same rate of reaction with both isomers, but differ in the rotation of plane of the polarized light toward right or left side, just before I discussed. One is rotates left side, another one will be oppositely right side. This is due to non-superimposability of mirror images. These are optically active isomers, exhibits optical activity, that means rotate plane plus light either right or right side. And one more important point, second point, is the rate of chemical reaction with any other optical active reagent will be different, but product will be same. That means one will be slow reactive, one will be fast reactive. That is, enantiomers in all respect they have the same properties, same chemical properties, same physical properties, same structure, but they differ in the only rotation angle of the plane for light, even though rotation value also same. That is the only difference. In case of chemical properties, the chemical properties are similar with any reagent, but whenever any optical active reagent is going to react with this, then one of the isomer will fastly react than the other. This is the only the difference. Remaining everything is same. This is because of the rate of reaction only different in the optical isomers when it is react with the optically active reagent. Otherwise, chemical reactivity is same, rate will be same, everything is same. So this about that. And so we'll go through the back side because the slide is displaced here. I am going to back diastereomers. What are the diastereomers? Just before I given, diastereomers nothing but not mirror images and non-superimposable each other. That is, which are those stereoisomers which are non-superimposable, not mirror images, are called as diastereomers. Diastereomers have the different physical property. They may not be optical active, may be optical active. Depending upon the optical activity of those two isomers, diastereomers, they can classify into several types. And one is both are active. That means here in this case, this is optically active, it is optically active. Rotates plane plus right side and left side, or left side or something. But in this case, it is optically inactive due to plane of symmetry. We will discuss in the future classes. And it is optically active. But at the same time, already geometrical isomers we have seen. Geometrical isomers also called as diastereomers because they have same structure, but this is top one is mirror image, bottom one is not mirror image. It is Cl, not mirror image, hence non-superimposable, not. Yeah, and the next one, if you if you remove and place on this one, they will not be superimposable because this Cl will come here, this hydrogen will come here, they are not superimposed. But if in the top bottom, this Cl will be on the Cl, this H will be on the H. So half of the part is superimposable, half of the part non-superimposable. Hence overall it is non-superimposable, not a mirror image. Similarly, in the case of first case also same thing I am going to discuss here also. The above part upper part. The upper part is, this is superimposable, this is not at all superimposable. Similarly, these are upper part is non-superimposable, superimposable, bottom part non-superimposable. And properties of the compound, just go through this one. Similar in structure and molecular formula and chemical properties. Differ in all physical properties of the diastomers are completely different, and the product will be always same in the of the chemical reactions of diastomers, but always the rate of reaction will be different in this case. But in case of optical active isomers, the rate of reaction always will be same with the any agent, but if the optical active reagent is there, then the rate of reaction will be different. But here, whether reagent is optical active or optical inactive, rate of reaction will be always different. That is the most important point. And coming to the one example, you can go through the example. First, second compounds are enantiomers. Third, fourth compounds are enantiomers because they are optically active and non-superimposable mirror images. And first one and third one, second one and third one, first one and fourth one, I can represent this one. This and this diastereomers, this and this diastereomers, this and this and these are diastereomers pairs. Totally 4 pairs. See, you can observe here. You can observe here. See here. This here BR right side, right front side, COH back side. But in this case, BR same side. But in the bottom case, BR is same side, but BR is opposite side. Half part is overlap, superimposable, half part is not superimposable. Like that, we can compare the one, slowly compare the molecules and imagine that what is the diastereomer, which are diastereomers, which are non-diastereomers or enantiomers, etc. And with this, I am going to close the topic, today's topic, and once I will go through the first one again. I am revising. First, representation of the stereoisomers, types of representation, Fisher formula, Wedge formula, Saharsay formula, and Newman projection formula, followed by configurational isomers. In the case of optical isomers, what are the optical isomers? Definition, that is the stereoisomer which are non-superimposable mirror images. Examples, diastereomers, examples, and example for optical active isomers, enantiomers, and difference properties. One example for this one. With this, I am going to close the topic. Thank you.